Do you find yourself yearning for a deeper, more purposeful existence? Get ready to embark on a transformative journey, diving deep into the realms of personal development, friendships, romance, and abundance. Get ready for Finding the Fire, Igniting Soul Connection, as we lead the way to embrace the fire within.
Hello, hello. Hey, we have a guest on our podcast today, and I'm so excited to hear from you, Tyson. So we brought you on because you've gotten to experience this quantum bliss experience that we have been talking about, right? And we've been leading up to it. We've been sharing some anecdotes. We did have Sean on once to tell his experience. You've had multiple at this time, and you've also had multiple experiences in your life, right? With energy work or different experiences, and I'll let you share those because I don't want to share anything you don't want to share. But I'm just excited to hear your feedback, knowing, I mean, we've known each other for years now. We've got to experience a lot of cool things together too. So, I'm just gonna lead right into wherever you want to go with this.
Yeah. So when I first met you, it was at a retreat, and there was something about you, I was sitting by myself, and then you came to me, and then you hold my hand. And as you were holding my hand, it was like this power of I think I know you, And since then, it was just this connection of there's something about Cyndee here that I want to explore more. And then I had experience with you at the retreat that you did some energy work with me, and you left an impression of your heart onto mine. I'll never forget that. And since then, we've gone a lot closer, and I have grown a lot since then also. So I feel like there's been this spiritual awakening inside of me of what I am inside. And that's always ever growing of self-discovery of what that is for me. But one of the big things is this light therapy sessions that you do. And I wanted to come on here and talk to you guys about how profound it was for me. And I've done lots of different journeys of psilocybin, ketamine sessions, and there's just something really unique about what happens when you're under the lights. And so with my different experiences with energy work and ketamine sessions and this light therapy, one of the things that when we first did the light therapy, you're like, Tyson, I have this new device that you got to try. And it was like, okay. When Cyndee says dude, you got to try this, you got to try it. And so, going under and in the beginning, so this device, it flashes lights. And as you close your eyes, you're under it, and as it's flashing lights, you see the patterns, and it's different colors. But the crazy thing is, it's just white light. And when you told me that, I was like, whoa, that's crazy. And so as I'm under, and for me, I can see my third eye really well. And it's been growing and growing since I can see it. And within this geometrical patterns that are coming through the light, I could see it coming through my third eye. And as it's going, it's I'm getting downloads. And as I'm continuing in the session, my whole body starts to vibrate. And I remember the first session, my left leg started to shake. And at that moment, it was man, this thing is really increasing my vibrational frequency. And as I'm going into it more and more and more, you come deeper and deeper into your subconscious. And for me, in my experience, it was a layer of seeing my life and seeing the things that I was stressed about, and the inadequacy, the self-doubt, the scarcity that can come from life. And seeing these things in my life. So I have an 8-year-old son. I'm divorced. I have a marketing company. And so there's a lot of moving parts in my life. And sometimes being a dad, there can be a lot of self-doubt within that.
For sure.
And walking through dad life, being single and trying to take care of your kid, trying to raise them in this chaotic world, there's a lot of stressors in that. And as I'm diving more into my love for my son, how that washed away a lot of that self-doubt. And when I was under the lights, it's like for me, it's like I can go into my subconscious, and then it's like I can see the pathways of life, of my own life, decision making, stressors, inadequacies. And then when you view it objectively, it brings a layer of like, it's not as serious as you think it is, which gives you a layer of understanding who you are. And as I'm seeing who I am, there comes a layer of self-awareness, of self-assurance, knowing that I have my own back. That was a big thing. Like, I am my own expert. And sometimes when you're in self-doubt and you're confused, sometimes that's hard to see, but the lights help me see that in such a clearer way that would help me integrate it more. And so doing a few more sessions with you, it's become stronger and stronger within who I am as a soul, as Tyson, and my gifts that I want to offer the world. And one of the things that really came to me of what I want to offer the world is really helping out other people in this digital sphere. Because I understand the digital sphere is one of the fastest ways to share information. And so how I like to dive into the digital sphere and how my brain works with information. I love to gather information. And when I see different things that are working in the internet, I can connect both dots of like, wow, this person can really share these type of things on the internet that can really help other people. And that's what I feel like I'm gifted at, is sharing this digital realm and helping out other people know about them. And that's a drive and a passion I have to raise humanity's consciousness.
And I've seen you in that. I just want to acknowledge that for you, because you light up in this area. I've watched you over the years, and whenever you're passionate about it and you are helping somebody and you can see how to connect those dots that your brain does so easily, like, it just lights you up. So I just wanted to reiterate that and acknowledge that for you, because that is your gift. And for you to be able to see that more clearly and have these lights help you like shift that out to, it's like, okay, this is maybe how I can do this for other people or for myself or whatever that looks like. And no, it's not coming externally, right? It's
Right.
coming from Tyson.
Inward.
You don't have to go out there and receive it from anyone else. You don't have to, give your energy outwards unless it's lighting you up and it's within your passion and your creation zone, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's interesting. Life is interesting, with there's so many layers getting thrown at you. I mean, you, for instance, with your story, with just the many different times you've literally almost died.
Yeah. And that's what brought all this around, right? Because I was trying to heal myself and help myself, and I'm going outward to look for that, right? I'm going to doctors, and I'm getting lab work, and I'm doing all the things that I think I need them to fix me or tell me what's wrong or give me a pill or give me a surgery or give me a diagnosis and a label, and it just wasn't working. And instead it was giving more and more of myself away. And I did. I mean, I've had lots of near-death experiences and almost wouldn't be here multiple times. It was like my spirit's like, nope, you're figuring this out and you're going to connect all these pieces. So like you're seeing the pieces in the digital realm, right? And I'm seeing it in the medical realm because I'm like, as they're piecing me apart and they're sending me to all these specialists and they're sending me to, specialists I hadn't even heard of. And I'm a nurse and I went, and they're sending me to now endocrinologists, which is now more in the common vocabulary with medical. But back 12 years ago, like I didn't even know what an endocrine system was. I mean, I had to like basically know it was attached to your kidneys and that's all. But yeah, so I would go to these specialists and I'd be like, look at me as a whole person. Like I'm a whole person. I'm a whole system. The body is meant to heal itself. Like you get a cut and it does its thing. I don't have to do anything. It's going to repair itself. But obviously I'm missing something within me that I'm having all of these symptoms and suddenly I'm being diagnosed with 1,000,001 in a million rare diseases. I'm like, I'm not that special. I'm not that rare. Like there's something else we're missing. And so every time I went through something and then had to come through that, and I'm now battling against my own profession, because they're not fixing it. They're not finding it, whatever it is, right? And they're fixing a symptom of it, but then I'm having another symptom over here. And then they're fixing that symptom and then I'm, and so I'm like shifting backwards, like where does this all start? And so that's when I started like looking into naturopath medicine and Eastern medicine and all these things that in my awareness is all woo-woo and that they don't know what they're talking about. This is back then, and I know we've come a long way since then, but back then, like if you looked into anything alternative medicine, they're quacks, right? Chiropractors are quacks and naturopaths are quacks. And if you talk about adrenal stuff and adrenal fatigue, that's quackery, Well, now we know that it's not. And so that's how all of this came into my awareness, is just trying to help myself. And then as I help myself, I want to help other people. And it's not one or the other. It's connecting the dots and the pieces and bringing it all together and the science behind it. And that's why I love the lights and the sound and the frequency so much, because the science is there to bring in the energy work that, some of us have been into for so long, but that's woo-woo. But now there's science with this and people are having amazing instantaneous results with it. And it's bringing it all together.
Yeah, absolutely. So I recently just had a light therapy session, just barely. And one of the things that there's like guided meditations that you put on, right? And one of the guided sessions, it talked about you're going up on this mountain. You have a long journey ahead of you, but there's going to be obstacles in front of you. And it helps you walk through these obstacles. And these obstacles it was first scarcity and how to come over scarcity. And then it talked about unworthiness and to source your own self-assurance and confidence. And then it talked about, what was the third one? I think it was
Self-doubt.
Self-doubt. Thank you. And that's a big one, man. That is a big one.
Who doesn't deal with self-doubt, right? Like almost everybody we deal with in our clients are there because of some sort of self-doubt.
So what do you think self-doubt is?
Not believing in yourself and knowing that it's within you and thinking it's out there somewhere where really it's here.
And not trusting yourself and knowing that, like, again, you are your best expert.
So what do you guys notice that the biggest thing for you guys getting, I don't want to say over it, but integrating, through it, like integrating the gifts to self-doubt?
Can you ask that a different way? I don't know why that didn't compute very well.
So we all experience self-doubt, right?
Yes.
So what have you guys experienced in your own life getting through that?
Oh, okay. Well, for me, for sure, like self-doubt is huge, like being Western medicine, right? And then when I started getting help and relief through alternative medicine, and psychedelics were one of them, it was huge. And, the taboo and the woo-woo, and it's illegal at the time, but it's now coming legal because we know how beneficial it is now. Thank goodness that's coming out, but way 12 years ago, So the self-doubt for me is like, hey, I went to nursing school. I'm medical. Like, I believe in this. And yet I know that this thing that we're told is so bad for us and stay away from it and it's illegal and it's harmful and we're calling it a drug is that bridge and that gap right there was so hard for me. But when I'm literally dying and I'm not getting the help of the Western world that I'm seeking from, and then a sister of mine brought it to me and she was like, maybe try this. And I was so like, no, I'm not going to do that. But then I'm literally like stuck in bed. I can't even take care of myself at that point. And so I start researching it, and I'm researching like the evidence behind, like the FDA was researching the benefits of psychedelics for PTSD and anxiety and depression and addictions and all these things. And they've known about it for so many years. And when I found this out and I saw that they're like approving, like it's going to be approved, it is being approved, then I'm like, oh, maybe I'll try this, right? So the self-doubt in that, and then going back into my Western mind world and everybody around me that is so stuck in beliefs with religious and politics and, all the things in this Western world, like the self-doubt for me was huge. And it took me out, and it was like, oh, like I'm crazy, right? I heard that a lot from people. Oh, you're crazy. Or I'd hear from people that saw how it was helping. They're like, oh, you're way before your time. You're just way too ahead of your time. And nobody's going to be on board with what you're doing. And so I kind of like recessed for a long time and did what I did quietly in the shadows for myself. And then also other people that were into it. But now like this is bringing the confidence back in to where it's like, hey, there's science here. There's information on all of it, the psychedelics on top of just the light therapy and the brainwave entrainment and the subconscious and the hypnosis, and how that, there's just so much evidence now that it's undeniable. And so for me, the self-doubt with just the lights itself is like, oh, now I can go out and be who I truly am and shine in the way I shine. And there's science behind it, right?
What about you, Holly?
Yeah, I think that really recognizing, like, we all have this gift of intuition, but some people trust it more than others, right? And that's where I think, like, every day realizing, and I think even soon, too, when you can recognize, like, the things that you are good at. Every day just recognizing those things that you're good at and allowing yourself to listen to those downloads and your intuition come in. I feel like for me, I've learned to really trust. The more that, like, every day it's just really like, I trust myself. I trust myself. I know I'm one with God. And I trust that whatever comes in or whatever I need to know, I'll know it in the moment. And I've seen that happen time after time. And I think it's like learning to teach people, because people don't trust themselves.
Yeah.
They don't trust those things that come in. And I feel like the more, it's just like a muscle. Our intuition's like a muscle. And the more that we trust it and follow it, we see how we are constantly being led and guided. And the universe and everything is always working for us, with us. And so for me, I don't know, I feel like the confidence, I've gotten a lot more confidence. I realize I'm working all with everything. Like, I'm working together. I'm always supported. But again, I think it's an everyday, like, we have to work on ourselves every day. It's not a one-time done deal. Like, every day, waking up and just having, like, gratitude. I am grateful for me. I'm grateful I get to show up. I'm grateful I get to work, and I'm always supported. I don't know, for me, that really helps me stay in a confident way when I just start my day knowing that I am always guided. I'm, just starting that. And I just think it helps you stay in a better space.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think for me too, it's just like that, the self-doubt and the gifts from that is trust. Like, I feel like, man, there's just a layer of like, when I trust myself that God has my back, that the universe has my back, like, I'm unstoppable. But it's interesting to experience the difference, because it goes up and down all the time.
Yeah. So,
yeah, go ahead.
Sorry. No, I was just saying, like, we definitely are going to have days you're never just on, but you can take those things that help you, but also there's going to be days that you definitely fall into that
It's
trap.
like riding the waves, right? Like, an ocean is never calm. Like, that would be boring, first of all. So ride the waves as they come and know, hey, I'm having a down day, but that up's coming and I'm going to be ready for it, and I'm going to recoup my energy and like go within and not be in self-doubt of like, oh no, I'm never getting back up on that wave. Just know it comes that way. And that's a big thing a lot of my clients ask me. They're like, well, I get up here and then all of a sudden I'm down here and I don't know what to do to get back there. And it's like, you just ride the wave, trust that it's coming.
But even maybe asking yourself, what is this really about? Like, and we always turn everything into a question. That's where we kind of get more answers of like, why is this self-doubt creeping up? Is this mine? Where is it coming from? What is this lie? It's a lie. So where is this lie coming from, right? So I think sometimes as we don't have to know the answer, but always turn everything into a question.
That's great.
and just like, where is this? Where is this? It's a lie. It's a lie. Like, it's not,
I love that.
So.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting so I'm very curious. Like I have a lot of people, like I ask a lot of questions and people are like, Tyson, you ask some good questions. And like, sometimes they don't know how to answer them, but
That's good.
but I like that. Like within like just the curious, like I wonder why and the how. The biggest thing is like, why am I doing this? And a lot of times when I go down to it, it's because of lack. And it's interesting to watch how, so I've done a lot of inner work within understanding my own ego and what that is to me. And we all have it, and it's a necessity. And what I've learned with the ego is that it creates our own identity. It's who we are, as well as it's the mechanism that like separateness. It creates separateness. And one thing that stems forth from the ego is lack and control and attachments. And it's so fascinating to watch how sometimes I will take actions totally out of lack and I don't even know it. And sometimes it's out of anger. Sometimes it's pure emotions that I don't realize that I'm doing it. And those moments of like to really see it is with meditation for me. And those lights really help me see the lack inside of me, the self-doubt, the inadequacy. And that's one thing, like doing psilocybin journeys and then doing these lights like sober. It's crazy how similar they are. And that's one thing, like, if people are looking to do psilocybin, it's maybe calling to them, but they're not quite sure if they want to do it. Like, these lights would be a perfect entryway to experience what you can experience on psychedelics.
I totally agree, 100%. They're very similar, and without the longevity of psilocybin, right? And that's where a lot of people might be a little wary, is like the length of it. And you hear the stories of the roller coaster, like going in and out of it can kind of be a little disorienting, and you don't really have control of some of the visuals or things coming in. But with these lights, like, okay, it's going to be a 30-minute session, and if you don't want to be in it, you can be out of it, right? Take the headphones off, get off the bed, like get out from under the lights, and you're done. But you are in control all the time. But it's a very similar experience of that, and the same kind of downloads and awakenings and shifting of energy within you. And it's been amazing.
Yeah, people that have a hard time meditating, it like instantly gets you there, which is so nice. It instantly gets you out of your head, gets you right there.
When you have racing thoughts and they never slow down. Over there, Sean.
When you can't relax too.
Like when your thoughts are just going, and it's like, I can't stop thinking, and all of a sudden you're under the lights, and at first you're thinking and you're overthinking and what's happening with these lights, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, I don't remember what I was thinking about. And then as people progress, this is what I love, watching people progress through the lights, because especially, and everybody's different when they come in, right? And their practice, if they've done meditation or not, if they've done energy work or not in their past, and we're almost up on time, so we'll wrap up quickly. But like, to see them progress over time from, like, say somebody that's never done a psychedelic or never meditated or never experienced energy work. And so at first they're in there and their thoughts are everywhere. And then the next time they come and they're like, oh, well, it was so nice and blissful, and like I got to relax, but then I had some really good ideas while I was under there, and then I can't remember them, and I was so mad because I wanted to remember that thing, but then like the next time they start remembering, because what happens is it clears out those closets, clears out all that dust and cobwebs in those closets of your brain, and then it allows for new stuff to come in, those creative ideas and things. And at first it's like, like, oh wait, that was a cool idea and I want to follow that one. But the light's like, nope, not yet. Like, we've got to like make sure you're solid, cleared out, ready to go. So when this does come in, you're ready to actually retain it. And so over the progression of time, it's like people are having like these huge shifts, and like, huge business ideas come in, or things that they've been struggling with forever that are just suddenly no longer a problem, you know, and it's really amazing and fun and cool to watch. I get so excited for people to watch their progression. I'm like, you know, a kid in a candy store when I see people shifting through some big hurdles in their life or getting some big breakthroughs with business ideas or something, you know, stressful they've been hanging on to for maybe their whole life. You know, some people have dealt with some like sexual violation traumas or abuse or whatever, you know, and it just suddenly clears it out, and it's amazing. So thank you, Tyson.
Thank you, guys.
That time went way
Appreciate
too
it.
fast.
Yeah,
We're gonna have you
did.
back on again
Okay.
for sure. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you for joining us on this path of self-discovery and soul connection. Remember, the journey doesn't end here. For more inspiration and resources, join our Facebook group, Igniting Soul Connection. Also, visit us at findingthefire.com or follow us on TikTok and Instagram at Finding the Fire. Until next time, keep the fire alive. This has been a production from a podcast studio.